I'm Cesar Guillermo, and I was addicted to heroin and meth. As a child growing up, um, it was fun for the most part. Um, there were times where it was difficult to get through, especially like times where I would see my dad being abusive, not just mentally, verbally, but also physically towards my mom. Um, we spent a lot of time in my grandmother's hometown, San Marcos, Jalisco, where I have some of my best childhood memories, just because we had a lot of freedom, exploring jungle-like, places. Um, but it was always that unknown of was my dad gonna get there drunk that time? Was he gonna be sober when he got there? Um, One thing I can say is I really had a close bond with my dad. Even at his drunkest, he would remember to go get me. It could be like 2, 3 in the morning, and he would show up super drunk, and all he could say was, Caesar, get up, let's go. And I would jump out of bed, whatever time it was, and I would just get dressed and be ready to go. Of course, my mom would give him crap about it, like, where are you going? You're so drunk, it's so late. And all I could care about was like, let's go. It's like, I don't care. Are we going to the bar? Are we going to your friend's house? Are we going to a restaurant? Like, what are we doing? And for me, it was just always exciting, just knowing my dad's gonna come and get me. Um, but then there was those times where something would happen that would trigger his violence, and he would always take it out on my mom, including one time where his own mom tried to stop him from hitting my mom, and he grabbed her by the wrist and actually broke her wrist from her trying to get him to stop hitting my mom. Yeah.
César era un niño normal como todos, era un niño alegre. Le gustaba bailar y le gustaban los caballos y le gustaba las fiestas y le gustaba participar en la escuela. Era muy inteligente. Era pues un niño normal como todos, le gustaba jugar.
Caesar and I met when we were around the age of 10 years old. We were living in the same apartment complex, and I would always see him playing outside, or I would be playing outside. And from there, he became friends with one of my cousins, and then from there, we just started to know each other more. Caesar always seemed very overprotective with me. Sometimes a little bit detached. We were very young, and he was very loving and caring, and it was just different. It was just different, the relationship that I had with him.
Cuando César tenía como 15 años, que empecé a encontrar cosas entre su ropa que ya no me gustaron. Encontré bolsitas de marihuana y encontré el papel para hacer los cigarros. Y fue cuando realicé que él andaba mal.
I remember knowing that Caesar would smoke marijuana. And when I got pregnant with our first daughter, I would tell him that he needed to quit marijuana because we were going to have a baby. And then he would always tell me, yeah, I'm going to stop doing that once the baby's here. And I always waited. The baby got here, nothing changed. It was the same. And then from there is when it started escalating to other things. And I noticed the change in the way he was with us. He was completely different from the person he really was.
Afectó mucho porque fue mucho tiempo que él se salía de la casa, se iba con sus amigos y pues no había control con él. Y lo arrestaba la policía y le encontraban cosas. Tenía muchos amigos malos que venían a la casa a buscarlo, y cuando él se salía y regresaba, por su manera de su expresión de su cara, su forma de mirar, yo sabía que ya venía mal, que ya le habían dado marihuana. Entonces, pues, cuando yo trataba de parar eso con sus amigos, también eso afectaba a nosotros, porque una vez hasta me poncharon mis llantas de mi carro porque le corrí el amigo. Y él se enojaba, él decía, ¿por qué usted no quiere mis amigos? ¿Y cómo los voy a querer si son los que te están enyerbando? No podía querer a sus amigos, afectaba mucho porque él se enojaba porque le reclamaba y se salía, y pues yo ya me quedaba triste y sin saber qué hacer también. Se afectaba a mi familia y después a la de él también.
Over here was always, going with the friends, going out on adventures. Because for me, that's what it was. It was adventures. It was like, we're going to go make some money, and, we're going to find new ways to make money. Whether it was stealing things and then reselling them, or just getting chased by cops, sometimes for reasons, sometimes for no reasons. But it was always an adventure to me. It was, I can't say how many times we would get chased by police sometimes, and it was just exciting. Even, as young as, 10, 11, I was already having those kind of experiences. I think my attraction to drugs and alcohol just kind of spanned from being around it. Alcohol, because it's always been a part of the family thing. Every gathering, ended with drunk uncles and cousins laughing at each other because they couldn't hold their liquor. Some of them would throw up. We would start messing with people that fell asleep, setting people's shirts on fire. And then drugs, it was the not just the camaraderie of people getting along when they were on high, but also, like I said, even with drugs, it was like fun laughing at people when they were too high. And just how differently people behaved when they were on drugs. Sometimes it was like you gotta take care of each other because we knew each other was high. So it was like unity, I think that as young as I started, I always just looked for that feeling of belonging, and it was easier to belong to groups when you were bad than when you were good.
Afectó mucho porque fue mucho tiempo que él se salía de la casa, se iba con sus amigos y pues no había control con él. Lo arrestaba la policía y le encontraban cosas. Tenía muchos amigos malos que venían a la casa a buscarlo, y cuando él se salía y regresaba, por su manera de su expresión de su cara, su forma de mirar, yo sabía que ya venía mal.
He kept inviting friends over that I didn't want at the house. The kids were little, and I always had things going through my head thinking, what if they hit him on the head, knock him out, and then do something to the kids without him knowing? And that always scared me. So I started to think that I needed to do something. Because if something happened to the kids, I was going to feel guilty about it because I let it happen. And that's when I decided that I couldn't take it anymore, that he had to change.
I think I didn't realize that I was feeding an addiction until towards the end, where I actually started hating the fact that I was using it. Before that, it was just always like we're having fun. It was letting me stay at parties longer. I enjoyed the company that was around me. I was doing it to have fun. It didn't click to me that I was feeding an addiction until I started hating the fact that I had it. Towards the end, when I was running out of drugs, I would freak out. I would panic. You know, I'm about to run out. I'm gonna get sick. I don't want to feel that way. So then, obviously, I would go get more and pretty much like do whatever it took. You know. Once I would have more, I would hate the fact that I got more, because then I would start thinking, you know, I was about to run out. I could have just stopped. That could have been it. You know, I didn't have to use anymore because I didn't have any more. But now I have more. And now I have to finish using what I just got. And it just became a vicious cycle of, you know, I'm about to run out, freak out. Why did I get more? And that's when it finally clicked. Like, I'm not doing this out of enjoyment anymore. You know, this is something that is keeping me from feeling sick. And that's when I realized just how bad my addiction was. Because by the time that happened, you know, I had already moved out of my house, lost, you know, my family, you know, so many bridges got burned. And so many people had already lost their trust in me. And it was at that point when I was just like, man, like, I'm not even enjoying getting high anymore. I'm just doing it so I don't get sick.
La última vez que lo arrestaron fue en el garage. Vinieron y me dijeron los vecinos que estaba la policía ahí, que se lo iban a llevar. Y salimos a ver qué estaba pasando y la policía estaba tirando muchas cosas. Cuando me quise arrimar, me dijeron que no me acercara. Y yo les dije, es mi hijo, pero me dijeron que no, que me mantuviera lejos. Y vi que estaban tirando muchas cosas y tenían a dos muchachos sentados y tenían a otra muchacha en el lado. A César y otro muchacho los tenían en la patrulla. Y encontraron una pipa, solamente la pipa, no tenía nada. Pero eso se llevaron como evidencia porque decían que César era el que vendía la droga. Pero César no les vendía. Ellos cuando venían a fumar lo que ellos traían. Pero venían persiguiendo a alguien, pero los encontraron a ellos. Y se llevaron a César. Cuando estaba yo allá afuera, salió René y me preguntó qué está pasando, pero cuando volteó y vio a César en la patrulla, pues César volteó y lo miró. Y lo último que alcanzó a ver fue cuando René se desplomó al piso llorando, porque su hermano no entendía. Fue duro para nosotros ese día también.
My first thought is like, for how long is he gonna go for? Like, what else are they gonna find that they're gonna let him stay there? And then what am I gonna tell the kids when they ask me, where's dad? Because that was the same question all the time. The kids asking me, where's dad? When is he gonna come back? When are we gonna see him? Can we call him? And not knowing what to tell them. So that was the question I would always have. I'm like, now what am I gonna tell them? I don't want to be lying to them because I don't want them to tell me later on when they grow up, why did you always lie to us? So that was the one thing that I would think of. And then sometimes towards the end of it, I thought it was a little bit mean or bad for me to think, well, at least I know he's safe in there. Because being in the street, I was always worried that something might happen to him. But me knowing that he was in jail, it made me have like a peace of mind to know that he was somewhere where I knew he wasn't going to be in danger, like being out there.
The moment that finally pushed me to stop my addiction, I think it was a collaboration of a couple. One major one was seeing my little brother's reaction to the last time I got arrested. It put a lot of things into perspective. It made me see a lot of things in me or about me that I was trying to avoid desperately. And also made me realize that I wasn't alone, as alone as I felt I was. I think that's been one of the major issues of my drug use, was always feeling like, even though I was surrounded by people that love me, internally I felt very alone. Especially one of the biggest things was like the passing of my dad. Because me and him were so close, I felt very empty, very, very alone. um, and I would try anything to feel that void that I felt, you know, whether it was with the company that I kept or the drugs. And then another thing was, you know, the not being able to go home to my wife and kids was a major one too. Realizing just how much I had and didn't see it. You know, it sounds corny, but it was right in front of me the whole time, and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the whole picture.
I thought that him going to rehab, that he wasn't gonna finish, that I felt that he wasn't gonna last there too long, that he was gonna get out, that he was gonna start doing all the things that he was doing all over again, because that was the same story for over 10 years, and I didn't believe it. So I told them, I'm like, when you're done with rehab, call me, because I really thought deep inside that he was not going to do it. And even the day that he called me and he told me that he was done with rehab, I told him, well, because he was asking me if I could pick him up, and I said, no, I'm not going to pick you up, because it's still not enough time. You still need to prove to me that you could stay sober. Because that's what would happen before. Like, he would stay sober for like a month or two. The most would be 3 months, but I don't think even 3 months. And then he would start all over again. I would see the signs again, the symptoms, everything again. And I said, no, you need to prove to me that you could stay sober and that you could stay away from all the friends that you were hanging around with, and that you could stay in a job, because that was another problem too, that he could never have a stable job. So he was never helping me financially.
And that I was letting all those people down was a major impact as well. But I think those two is the top two. Is the not being able to see my kids whenever I wanted, hold their hand, hold my wife, and then my little brother's reaction to the last time I got arrested. I realized just how much I was impacting those people around me. One of the biggest lies that me as a drug addict told myself was, why do you care? I'm not hurting anybody by myself. I'm only hurting me. Why do you care? And it's a lie. I was getting high. I wasn't getting hurt. You know, it was the people around me watching me get hurt, watching me go to jail, watching me waste my talent. You know, seeing me just, you know, feeding myself this poison, that were really the ones that were getting hurt. You know, like I said, I couldn't see that. I couldn't see the whole picture. I was too close. I would compare it to, if you're looking at a big painting, a big work of art, if you stand with your nose almost touching the painting, you'll never see the picture. All you're gonna see is that little bit of paint that's in front of you. It's not until you actually take a step back that you're able to see more of the picture and really enjoy it for what it is. And that, I think I was able to do that when I got myself out of that little hole of greediness, because I feel like I was being greedy. I was keeping all the love that I had inside trapped, not knowing where to place it, you know. And I think it was at that point that I was like, I'm ready to show it.
I feel very proud of Cesar that he's come a long way, that he chose a career that helps others, and he knows more about it, so he knows what it's like, so he knows what he needs to do in order to help all of these people that have addiction. And I'm glad that he's in that field. I know he's helping a lot of people, and that makes me really proud that he makes a change in other people's lives.
Pues que lo quiero mucho, que le doy gracias a Dios porque regresó al buen camino, por la labor que está haciendo ahora, porque siempre ha sido buen hijo, siempre ha sido, a pesar de que andaba mal, él siempre ha sido buen hijo.
I'm achieving a lot of the things pretty quick. Sometimes that worries me, that I might, you know, kind of peak. and not find new ways to grow. Um, but I've already exceeded so much. I'm supervisor at my job, including I'm supervising the person that put me in treatment. I work for the company that put me in treatment when it was court mandated for me. They're the ones that put me in treatment, and once I completed and went through all that rough, trying to find a job and went to school and everything, I was able to get a job with them, and I'm kind of glad that they gave me the opportunity to do so. And it's a really good company. I feel like the company is always open for me to grow, including allowing me to go to trainings that will allow me to grow professionally. And it's good when a company knows that they're sending you to trainings that is gonna make them pay you more, and they still do. So I'm really glad I'm where I'm at right now. But like I said, I'm always looking for more. Looking for new ways that I can be a better father, a better employee, a better counselor, just a better person all around. My name is Cesar Guillermo, and I am a registered addiction specialist.